Welcome to You're My Best Friend, a podcast about life. That was weird.
That was really weird.
A podcast about life, friendship, and tacos. My name is Ruben Jay.
And I'm Moxy Ann.
And Moxy, today is the day.
What day is it?
The day.
What day is today?
That's a trick question. Are we talking about today as in right now when we're recording this, or today as in right now when this is dropped?
You know, what even is today? What is a day?
It's a social construct.
It is.
A day is pretty racist. Think about it.
And you know what? I will not stand for it.
Will you throw away your shot?
I will not throw away my shot.
So then you're getting vaccinated? You know what? Let's not go there. Let's not go there today. Let's not get political. Let's not, because I've had a week when it comes to political stuff, and this podcast is not ready for political Ruben Jay.
No, please no.
Also, I just realized that we started this podcast the wrong way for the new season.
How?
I jumped right into the intro instead of doing the random.
Do you want to start over?
Rumbling. No, not really. We'll just start over again in a minute and pretend like nothing happened.
Okay, sounds good.
Because I can just edit out the part where I did the intro.
I like how we're discussing the procedure during the episode.
You know, it's just like a doctor when he's cutting off your toe. We'll talk about how he's cutting off your toe.
Yeah.
Speaking of toes, you're down to what, 7 toes now?
What?
Hey,
what?
So... You know, it's weird, Mox. We are both currently traveling and house sitting and not in our normal locations.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how your week is going over. Should I give the address to where you're at?
Do you have the actual address?
I do. It's 123 Carroll Street.
That is not the address.
Fontana, California.
Well, it is in Fontana. I am staying in a very nice part of Fontana, which is kind of an oxymoron.
There are no nice parts in Fontana.
Yeah, no, but I've been house sitting for one of my really, really good friends, Carol, for the last couple of days. I'm gonna be here all week taking care of her cat, Aria, or as Brad called her, Annihilate. The cat hates me. The cat really hates me. And it has made me very sad because I came here hoping...
The cat is in good company.
I don't like you. And the cat has more reasons to like me than you do. I don't feed you twice a day.
No, but you do feed me about 3 times a month.
Not equivalent at all.
Well, with the amount of food that I eat, it's about the same.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's the same. Anyway, it's been a decent week so far, given the fact that I am literally just sitting alone in a house for 24/7 with no human interaction.
So my question is, and this is probably ignorance of me because they don't usually hire Mexicans to house sit, but why are you actually staying there? Like normally when people house sit, they go, they check in, they might spend a night or two there, but they don't usually spend the whole week there.
Because there's a cat that I need to feed twice a day, and it is a half hour to an hour away from either of my other 2 residences.
How many residences do you have?
Well, I said either, so what does that entail?
Listen, you both know I'm... You know
exactly.
I'm not good at you know I'm not good at math.
Yeah, it just made more sense for me to stay here, especially because right now I have a tricky housing situation. I'm kind of in between places because I'm going to be moving into an apartment with Brad soon, but I also have an apartment in Azusa.
I am also moving into an apartment with Brad soon.
You are not doing that. No, you're not. And I can't move in until...
We're sharing one bed, by the way.
No. I can't move in until after we get married, but I also can't move everything home this month. So I'm kind of back and forth, and I have 3 other roommates, all of whom are doing online school. and or working from home. So it's quite a lot for our 2-bedroom apartment. There are physically not enough places for people to be in classes all the time. So I figured I would just come here because I now work from home too. And I figured I'd just come here, hang out, be buddies with a cat. That part hasn't worked out so well. She hissed at me the last time I tried to pet her.
You know, I know a couple of things and or people that hiss at you when you try to pet them.
It was really sad. I'm really sad. And now I haven't seen her. I know she's alive. She's eating. The food is disappearing, but I don't know where she is. I went looking for her today. She's got some good hiding spots.
Well, she's a cat. So Isolation, the cat, is doing really, really well. You know,
how's your week going?
Well, I'm back in Fresno.
Oh, good. Did you find any more tacos?
I found one good taco in Fresno. So
oh my gosh.
I am correcting the record. There's one good taco in Fresno.
Wow.
And it's from a place called Smart and Final. Nope, that's not it. It's a place called Let These Mexican Cafe. It's out here by the airport, and it was quite tasty. The taco was quite tasty. I don't really recall what kind of taco it was because I don't remember what I ordered, but I do remember there was some really good salsa on the taco, which made it worth everything. And the cheese, the melted cheese on the taco, was amazing.
Now I have a question. Was this
Sure.
was this a street taco or a larger taco?
Well, when I asked the guy on the phone if it was a street taco or a traditional taco, he said, "Whatever you want, buddy," and didn't really answer my question. So I will have to circle back to you on that one.
Oh my gosh! Wait, was the taco was the tortilla? Was it a circle? You said you'd have to circle back, so I figured I'd check on the shape. I'm new to this, man.
Anyway, for those of you who are wondering what I do in my spare time, I like to launch podcasts. And this coming Tuesday, which is tomorrow, I am launching a new podcast that is not for the faint of heart. So if you are a political junkie like I am, make sure to tune in to Let's Get Band Together over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or go over to bandpodcast.com, bandpodcast.com for more information. If you are not somebody who likes to talk politics or isn't very open to discussions, then maybe don't check it out.
I'm so excited to hear that you're starting a band. And I know it's about podcasts. I don't really totally understand the dynamics of the whole thing. Like a band, podcast, a podcast about... It's a band that writes songs about podcasts. Is that what I'm getting?
It's a podcast. I mean, it's a band that writes songs about Joe Rogan.
Okay, so it's a band. Where does the podcast part come in?
Joe Rogan hosts the world's biggest podcast.
Oh, do you think eventually you'll branch out and start writing songs about other podcast hosts?
No.
Well, that's just a crying shame.
You know what else is a crying shame?
What?
The fact that we've got 9 minutes and we haven't done something good. Go, Moxy.
Okay, so this week's Something Good touches in on an issue that we've all been following over the last couple of weeks, and that is the crazy weather in Texas. I found this story a couple of weeks ago, and it was just so good I had to hang on to it. This story is from KVUE Daybreak, and the title is... It's from ABC News, and it says, Good Samaritan helping hundreds of drivers stranded in Austin winter storm. So, as with any disaster, we always see Texans helping Texans. That's a big thing that's happening over in Texas right now. We've seen some really incredible Good Samaritan stories coming out of there. This one has been one of my favorites. So in Austin, this guy, his name is Ryan Sivley, and he helped rescue stranded drivers on the icy roads. He rescued 47 cars on February 16th, and on February 15th, he rescued 98 cars.
Holy moly! How many cars is that total?
I gotta do some math. Hold on. 47 plus 98 is 145 cars, and that was just at the time of this article.
And how many tacos is that?
That's a lot of 145 tacos. But this guy, he actually gave out his personal number to let drivers reach him. And he said he does a lot of off-roading with different groups in Austin. So he had recovery straps and chains, and he had 2 trucks that are 4-wheel drive. And he has a cruiser that's 4-wheel drive, and he's just for 3 days, or I'm sure longer, because this article's a little bit old, he's just been pulling people off the road. And usually everybody gives him, like $5 or $10 for gas, but it's been really hard for him. He, on March 1st of 2020, he was actually in a really, really bad car accident. And his pelvic bone was shattered and he almost died, and he can't lift more than 20 pounds on his left arm, and he can't walk for more than 2 hours a day. So he said, so I can drive a truck. It's pretty simple. And that's just what he has been wanting to do, to give back. And everybody, ABC News asked why he was helping. And he said, well, put yourself in their shoes. If you were sitting on the side of the road with your wife and your kids, and you're freezing in the car and it's not running and you don't have anywhere to go, what do you do? And he said he's seen a lot of wreckers turn people away because they won't pull them out due to liability. And people are just totally stuck. So, I mean, thank God for people like this who are just going out of their own volition and helping, not asking for anything in return. This is kind of my favorite success story that we've seen out of, not success story, Good Samaritan story that we've seen out of the Texas issues. And, thoughts and prayers are with you guys, but this guy, Ryan, is incredible.
Yeah, all I can say about the story is God bless Texas.
Amen.
I mean, and God bless Texas for other reasons too. I'm really looking at Texas right now and being like, you Bamfs.
Bamfs?
Not appropriate for the show.
That doesn't... That would be NAFT.
Oh my God. Are you trying to just...
I've been watching Friends this entire time I've been alone. I made it through like 3 seasons in the last 2 days.
That's it?
Chandler is getting into my head.
Really? Because that was more like Rachel right now, what you just did.
Well, it's all of them,
Yeah, it's true. No, a Bamf is a badass MFer.
Oh. I have no sarcastic retort for that. Why do I have no sarcastic retort for that?
Thank God. But yeah, I am looking at Texas. I am liking the way Texas is looking back at me. Maybe next time I do a podcast, I'll be in Dallas. Who knows?
Maybe. Come visit me. I'll be there next week.
I keep trying to get an actual invite to go out to Texas, but both.
Well, there you have it.
Both your mom, you, and Brad have all not officially invited me to come out. So.
Well, you should come out.
Will I have a place?
Does that work for you? Maybe.
Will I have food?
I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Will there be power?
Yes. Manpower.
So your dad will be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Awesome. Let's jump in to this week's episode.
The following is a podcast about life.
Apparently,
I can't not listen to music.
Friendship and tacos.
Let me tell you this, dropping a taco is a national emergency.
This is You're My Best Friend. Now here are your hosts, Moxy and Ruben Jay.
Welcome to You're My Best Friend, a podcast about life, friendship, and tacos. My name, for the first time today, is Ruben Jay.
And I'm Moxy Ann.
And this week's episode, man, is going to be a good one, Moxy. Tell everybody, even though we hate Amazon because they are apparently Nazi lovers, we'll talk about that in just a second, but we hate Amazon personally, but they pay us money. So Moxy, tell everybody about our Amazon link. Por favor.
Do we have to talk about how they're Nazi lovers? What?
Did you not hear about what happened today?
I don't want to know. I don't even want to know. This isn't what this podcast is about.
Amazon, real quick, Amazon changed their logo from one style of tape that's on the top of their logo to a square because somebody said that the original logo looked like Hitler.
Like it looked like Hitler's with the mustache and everything?
Yeah, let me look it up. Amazon logo change. I'll pop it up on the screen here because I actually want to get your take on this because I think it would be. I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. Me personally, I think it's hilarious. Here we go.
I'm really confused.
All right, it is up on the screen. Can you see that?
What the heck?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So they're saying this one here on the left looks like Hitler, and this one over here on the right looks less like Hitler because it's a square.
So we're going to be offended because they're sealing their boxes correctly?
Here's my take. The one that looks like Hitler is the one right in the middle.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, sir.
Because it is Hitler.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, tell everybody to shop at our Amazon link.
Okay, so if you still shop on Amazon, which is a feat in this day and age, if you still shop on Amazon, make sure to go down to the link in our description below. It's going to be like one of the first things up at the top. And you just click that link. And what it's going to do is take you to Amazon. And you're like, okay, well, cool, Amazon. That link, by clicking that link, it actually gives you 10% of... It gives... No, sorry. Whew! Ha! I've been alone for too long. It gives us 10% of your purchase at no additional cost to you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to stop now.
I think I'm going to start doing the Amazon plug because every single time you've done it this last season, you've completely just...
You gotta admit, it's entertaining.
It is. You know what it's like? It's like Moxy Ann reading commercial copy is like most people playing jazz. Just does whatever she wants. There's no real structure or form to it. She just does whatever she wants. So
pretty much,
Moxy, you are a jazz artist of a commercial copy reader.
It's like the one area of my life that I have control over.
Apparently. What are you drinking? Go and click the Amazon link in the description below. Help us help you. You have some shopping that needs to get done. We have bills that need to get paid. Your shopping pays our bills. Do that. We get a small percentage, and it does not add anything extra to your purchase. There we go. Bam.
Cost. Purchase. I don't know. It's not like when you round up your change or anything. Like, we literally get 10%. I don't know how Amazon is profiting off of this, but they are. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
stunning recommendation right there. I need to go to sleep.
You've been sleeping all week.
I haven't, though.
Every time I call you, you're sleeping.
I've been looking for the cat.
Hey, how was your date night?
It would have been good if it wasn't raining today because we had 20 minutes left on the movie. We watched this great movie called Killer Sofa. It was awful. And
was Nicolas Cage in it?
No, but he should have been. It's about a sofa that is possessed and kills people. So exactly what you'd think it is from the title. But we got all but 20 minutes at the end. And then we got a call from my dad saying that all the boats had to be covered. And so we had to go out and do that instead of finishing the movie.
Because Moxy has so many yachts.
So many. It kind of sucks.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to put my Christmas gift to use.
We actually didn't get to use it.
What?
Oh, we're going to have to use it again. I'm sorry. We pulled it out to use it and we were going to pop the popcorn.
You know, I pushed the wrong button on that. And she's still talking, by the way. I kicked her out of the podcast and she's still talking. I don't think she's realized that she's been kicked out of the podcast yet. Because I can see her. I can still see her when I kick her out. I see her in the little green room.
I don't appreciate you kicking me out all the time. I don't like you having that
It just did it again because why not?
Well, I'm still talking on this end because I'm recording my own audio. So,
Oh, yes.
Ha!
So the people who download the audio version of this week's podcast will be able to hear whatever she said, all the curse words, because I'm not editing any of it
What?
out. I saw you drop some F-bombs.
I said no F-bombs.
Uh-huh. Anyway, I'm really excited for this week's episode.
Me too. This was such a good episode.
I think before I went out on my excursion for work, we did a marathon recording session. Not a massive marathon recording session, but a marathon session for sure. And we interviewed some great guests. So I am looking forward to what the people think about our guests over the next couple of weeks. We should just jump into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you are looking at yourself right now in the mirror while listening to this and wondering, how do I lose weight? How do I get healthy? How do I get my life back on track? Part of this podcast is for you. The other part of the podcast is just in case you wanted to hear stories about me when I was 14. So I'm excited to have this person on the show. Stick around for a conversation with my good friend, Miss Faith Seymour.
Here we go.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
Oh, Miss Faith Seymour. Faith, welcome.
In my whole life, I have never been introduced as someone who's very smart, but thank you.
I introduce people as what they are. So
Okay.
and you're one of the smartest people I know because you actually like tried teaching me how to do math.
That is true.
And
that was a very long time ago in a Ruben far, far away.
But in reality, not much has changed because I still don't know how to do math.
Okay. Then maybe I wasn't such a good teacher after all.
I wasn't a good student. I literally could have cared less about math. Like up until the last day of high school when I realized that I almost failed high school because I didn't know enough math. That's when I realized I probably should have paid a little bit more attention in math class.
That is true. And those are my favorite students to work with. Not the ones that are at the last minute. That's very difficult and challenging. But the ones that really finally the light bulb goes on. Oh, crud, I need to know this. And and they kind of snap to. And I like to take them and show them, look, this is the part of math that you do need in your life. You do need to know how to balance a checkbook. You do need to know.
What is balancing a checkbook?
Okay. So your generation doesn't really balance checkbooks, but it's when you're going in and checking your account and oh, I also bought this, this, and this. Now, some banks are pretty good because they have like that pending or processing. I know my bank has like a little section that's processing. So the amount that it shows at the top that doesn't say, or it says a certain amount and you're like, oh, wow, I still have that $400 in there or whatever. But then there's these other $300 worth of processing things that are happening. So your bank account does it for you now for the most part. But there's a lot of people in my generation who still sit down and balance a checkbook at the end of the month.
Then my mom used to balance a checkbook daily.
Yeah, a lot of people reconcile it. Yeah, because you can get yourself messed up. Back in the olden days when things didn't clear for 3 or 4 days, you forgot you wrote that check. You forgot you used that ATM. It could get real sticky.
Now I know what balancing a checkbook is.
See? I'm still teaching you.
I've been hearing it for years. Balance your checkbook. I'll write you a check later for that one.
Okay.
My mom showed me how to do it a couple of times before I moved out, and I still don't.
Do you even have a checkbook?
I do.
Because you recently told me that you don't even have a debit card.
I don't. No. I do not. I know.
How do you?
She got that black card.
I haven't. No, I have an online bank, but they never sent me a debit card.
Do you just have it through Apple Pay, or how do you?
I don't know.
How did you buy your food tonight?
Well, I have a credit card, but I don't have a debit card.
Is your credit card linked to your bank account?
It is.
Okay, so it's probably an ATM also. Does it have a PIN code?
No.
Okay.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, see, and my credit cards are maxed out, so
I don't use those things anyway.
I couldn't if I wanted to. So let's talk about you because I've known you for so long, and there's so many places that we can start.
I was thinking we were going to talk about you and that little 9th grade boy who came in.
Oh, God.
It's our first or second Sunday at church, and Matt and I are perfectly kind of taking over the leadership for the high school ministry for a season. We were between pastors. We knew we weren't the primary leaders, but we would kind of step in the interim for a few months.
We ultimately downgraded to Jay Vallejo.
No, that was not a downgrade. That was for sure an upgrade. But anyway, this kid, he's in 9th grade, maybe 8th going into 9th. He was a young man. He was still taller than me back then. But I'm 5'7". Like, I'm not a shorty.
No.
Anyway, he's like, so I have this idea, and he has this like 3 fold out idea of a newsletter that he is going to create for the high school for all the events we're not having. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. If we had an actual high school group that had things planned and like had a forecast for the next 5 to 6 months, although Jay would probably love it these days.
Yeah.
Of course, they use some apps and other things for that now, and Instagram, what's it called? Instagram for that. I'm showing my age right now.
Well, so here's kind of the funny thing, because I did this similar thing with the podcast to her, where I just here's a concept. Here, we're gonna do this. Is what we're gonna do.
I love it.
But the one thing that y'all both have in common is that y'all had to edit my work.
Oh my gosh.
That is accurate.
And, and honestly, I'm not sure if I think I'm getting worse as I go.
Oh no. Grammarly. Use Grammarly.
I do.
A little plug for
You
her.
do? Oh.
And it still doesn't.
I think I'm so bad that Grammarly doesn't know what to do with it.
Grammarly is just like, it's a rainbow. Look at how pretty it is. I give you all the colors.
Grammarly is literally like, bro, you just need to stop.
Don't even try.
I think here I am. I have over 3,000 articles published online.
Oh my gosh.
And
awesome.
probably all of them are filled with basic grammar mistakes. Richmond would probably hate reading any of my work.
That's probably true.
So Ruben as a 9th grader.
Yes.
How
still visionary, still looking for the next big thing. He was going to be, by the time he was 25, he was going to be a millionaire, and he was going to be driving all the cars and have the biggest house.
Did I actually say that though?
That was in your eyes. I filled in the blanks. You're welcome.
Because I think at that point, I probably wasn't as focused as I got later on in life.
That's true.
Even though I'm probably still not very focused.
You had all the visions, though. You definitely had all the things you were wanting to do, big, wonderful things, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, now I feel like I'm still have a lot of vision, but still very little focus.
No, you went to college. You did college that everyone kind of went, yeah, I can see that happening. That's amazing. Like the radio and broadcasting and all of that. And of course, we all loved your voice. And I mean, you had a lot of things to say. And,
I'm retired now. So
Richmond definitely reined you in on some of that, though, and helped you like, okay, we got to get you planted. What are your goals? What are your focus? And she's one visionary meets another. They can kind of ground each other.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm just over here going, do it. It'll be awesome.
But can you imagine 9th grade me?
I'm a little scared to imagine that. What was your first impression of him when you met him?
Jeez.
Well, Matt just walked in, and he knows after church that day, I was like, what am I supposed to do with this kid? I don't want to crush his dream, but we are not the right leaders for him right now.
Oh my God.
Because he had like legitimate ideas of how it could go. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking he could probably lead it better than me right now. But truly, that is true. That's the Ruben I knew. That's the Ruben that I invited over and said, you stay here, buddy. And little did we know that he would go through some really hard things over the course of the next few. Well, he had already been through some hard things, but he would need, some people with roots. And we're still planted in that same place. And 24/7, you can come over.
Yeah. I mean, what the great thing about I was in a really vulnerable position when I was 14, and it's like, it's really weird not many 14-year-olds will say they're in a vulnerable position at 14. You know, not a lot of them go through a lot, thankfully. But I had just lost my brother, probably I think 6 or 7 months earlier. And through the process of that, I lost the church that I'd been to for 4 or 5 years. And I started attending Calvary La Habra, just kind of like, ironically, my mom, who was like very much like, no, you're Catholic, like you were born Catholic, you're gonna die Catholic. I'm like, I don't think that's how that works, but okay. But she, she was like, well, why don't you go to that Calvary Chapel church right around the corner? Like it was the most ironic thing.
I don't think I knew that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, she's the one. At first she was kind of like, well, you can always go to our church, that they hadn't been to in 5 years.
A true Catholic.
Yeah, exactly. And then when she realized that, what I was craving was like authentic Jesus Christ relationship, she was like, why don't you just go to that church right around the corner? And I'm like, there's a church right around the corner? I thought it was an event center, ironically, with events every Sunday.
Yes.
And, I went there for like 3 or 4 months before I actually walked into the high school group because I didn't know that there was a high school group there. But I also remember like right out the gate that I got there and I was sitting by myself, and like you just, from like across the room, you saw me and just like beeline straight to me. And it was like from the first minute we met, like maybe it was your motherly instincts, I don't know, but like immediately we're like, this kid needs to know that he's welcomed here, because
which goes back to how I don't want to crush him. What am I going to do? How am I going to help fan the vision? Aww. But at the same time, be like, no, bro, you're not there right now.
Oh, I mean, and I know, like, even now that it's been 15 years and I'm no longer, a stupid 14-year-old, I'm just a stupid 28-year-old.
Yes.
I've learned.
Can confirm.
I'm starting to learn, and Moxy can probably attest to this. I'm starting to learn what I am good at, what I'm not good at, and that I can still be a visionary and still lead what I want to lead while letting people who are better at grammar do the writing.
Better with grammar?
Shut up. How about we go into signature question numero uno?
Sounds good. All right. So signature question number 1. We have these 3 signature questions that the podcast is based around. And so we ask every guest who comes on all of these questions. Not one. You don't get to pick.
Decline to state.
Okay.
Just don't circle back with us.
I might.
So signature question number 1 is probably the easiest. And it is, what is your favorite taco?
Okay. So there was a moment in time when I was going through a very difficult thing. We won't talk too deep about the difficult thing, but my daughter was not doing well. And the Lord had put it on my heart to take her on a cruise for her 18th birthday. And so without any tears, I'm going to let you know, we ended up in Cabo San Lucas on a Carnival cruise. And she had just graduated high school. It was 4th of July weekend. And the Lord had shown me that we were basically defibrillating her. We were bringing this person back to life. She had lost a part of herself. And we got there, and I remember FaceTiming with my husband and going, okay, pray for us because we're getting ready to rent a scooter. I have no idea what we're doing, but we're going to go scooter around. We did almost get on the freeway on-ramp backwards. On a scooter that tops out at 25. But it was so much fun. And as we came back down the on-ramp, we landed in this random kind of big desert area, and I saw this really cool graffiti art, which you might not know this about me, but I really, really love graffiti art.
You're from the you're from the mean streets of Norwalk.
That's true. That is true. That is true. The Norwalk bad dudes. NBD, right? Isn't that what that stands for? That's what my mommy told me.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. And on the other side of it was a place called Gardenia's. And Gardenia's had fresh shrimp tacos that were divine. And they brought out 8 different salsas for you to put on the tacos. And, the traditional cabbage and, goodness.
Yeah.
A true and homemade corn tortilla.
Yeah.
So, no, I was definitely in heaven. I would go back there right this minute. And
can we post-COVID plan a trip because
Yes.
I need these tacos in my life.
No,
Yeah.
that is a taco. It's a garage. They lift the garage
Yeah.
Oh my
door.
gosh.
That's a thing in Mexico. That almost
Yeah.
every
Garages?
well,
No, like a garage door opening for the restaurant. So it's not an
Yeah.
actual garage, but
it's
it
like
looks like a garage.
basically like if you went to go eat at your mechanics.
Exactly.
Like the garage opens, but instead of
Doesn't
it being
sound appetizing.
I know it really doesn't. But whatever it was, man, those
the
things
witty
were
that doesn't know,
good.
so it's okay. So I don't even know where to go with this conversation anymore because you already got me in
It's
the
a little
feels.
too emotional.
Yeah,
Typical
yeah.
me.
No, hey, I love it because you're one of the few people in my life that will straight up look at me and be like, you're not being authentic, so it's hard for me to hide behind this microphone with somebody who knows me so well. So but I do now is a good time to also mention that Faith is Ruby Seymour's mother, who was on the podcast about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 8 months ago,
Longer
a
than
year ago.
that.
Was it pre-COVID?
Way longer than that.
Okay, so yeah, so it's been a while, and we were talking about this earlier. Ruby makes Shakira boards.
Charcuterie.
Yeah, Shakira boards.
No, her boards are gorgeous.
I've seen pictures.
Literally, and she did 8 night before last.
Nice.
Oh, it was last night. Today's only Saturday.
So I just wanted to bring that full circle, so people people are listening to this and like are hardcore fans, are listening to this and like that last name sounds familiar. Why is that last name sound familiar?
There it is.
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
Because that beautiful girl is my beautiful daughter.
Aww.
That beautiful voice.
I was gonna say that was pre video podcast days.
Okay.
So but you're a health coach.
I am.
And I'm as somebody who considers you family, I'm so proud of kind of the journey that you've been on.
Yeah, Moxy wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean I
could show you some pictures
Oh yeah.
where I weighed 70 pounds more than I do right now.
I went through my Instagram and I found a picture of you from summer camp, from cooking camp.
How exciting.
And
in the brown shirt?
Well, I had a filter on it, so I don't remember what color it was, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was. And I remember I just looked at it and was like, oh my God, this is a completely different woman.
Yeah.
A completely different woman. And realistically,
An insecure. It was the mental, emotional part that was really transformational for me.
yeah, I mean, I don't think I was paying that much attention
Because you're a kid.
because I was a kid and I was a dude also,
Yeah.
but knowing where you're at now versus where you were there,
Mm.
it's really awesome to kind of see that journey. So tell us a little about what made you decide to jump onto this journey, because it's been what, 3.5 years?
Next in April it'll be 5
Wow. So
that I've
you did
been
the program.
that I've finished.
Oh, you finished. Okay.
Yeah, last September 1st was 5 years since day one. Well, honestly, I had tried a lot of things, and I was, that documentary Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. like I really was fat, sick, and nearly dead. And my husband was getting ready to have he was having some heart issues, and I knew I was the controller of our food, where we ate, what we ate, all these things. And it was just a really unhealthy environment in our home. We had love. We had a lot of good things. I don't want to, poo-poo the whole thing, because we really did have a great life.
Yeah.
We just were unhealthy, and we didn't realize how unhealthy we were until we decided to say yes. And we watched a really close friend of my husband's family, Kirsten, go through this program. She lost 50 pounds in 5 months. She was looking amazing. And before she started on the program, she and I were walking, and I was like, what the heck? What's going on with you? What are you doing? Oh, my friend Shannon from high school, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, well, that's good for you. I know what I need to do. I just need to, XYZ, fill in the blank, exercise more, eat less, no carbs, low fat, blah, blah, blah. And I spent that summer from May to August working out 4 or 5 days a week. Matt and I meal prepped every Sunday and Wednesday. We made all the little Tupperware with the brown rice and with the veggies and with the chicken and the grilled whatevers. And at the end of 4 months, I had lost 4 pounds.
Jeez.
And I knew I had so much more to lose. And I didn't see how this was going to be sustainable.
Yeah.
How am I going to ever lose 70 pounds with this kind of time commitment. And I was getting ready to go back to work because I was just off for summer, very disheartening. And so that's when, actually, it was my husband's cousin who had joined the program, had lost 85 pounds at the time, and her mom lost 165 pounds. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing. And that's when I called Britt and I'm like, okay, Brittany, tell me what, you always go through scarcity mind. Like, okay, what do I have to give up? What horrible thing am I going to do and it was so simple. And literally day one, September 15th, by mid-April, I had lost 70 pounds, started to transition. He lost 45 from January to April. And
do you mind if I pull up a picture on the video?
Please help yourself.
I don't want to show this and you'd be like, how dare he?
No,
I know, but I
love it. I have a really awful picture if you want it. I have my day one picture is on my phone right here. And let me just tell you about my day one picture. I was at my friend Erin Smith's house, who Ruben also knows. And let me just tell you that Erin and I were taking pictures and I forgot a tank top. And she's here, just put this one on. And it was an extra large wife beater. Or can you say wife beater?
I don't know.
Those are bad. You know what I'm talking about though, right? Those that's
a
terrible thing to call it.
I think we call them undershirts now.
Undershirt. Yes. They probably were called undershirts back then too, but.
Well, so if you're watching the video version of this, you'll actually see a picture that I found on her Facebook that you posted a couple days ago. And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put a solo shot of you now on there and see two completely different people. Like it's incredible the journey that you've been on.
Here you go, Ruben. Here's my airdrop for you. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Oh gosh, you see these pictures. Oh, it's hilarious. What do you think about that lady, Moxy?
Oh my gosh.
Who is
that? Is not you.
That is me. That was me. And guess what? Guess what? I am not the lady anymore. And when she took those pictures and then I looked at them, I'm like, well, okay, this one was my favorite because I can't even put my arms at my side. I'm so heavy. My arms are sticking out. It's so funny. And what she didn't know. Oh, wow, Ruby. I didn't know about that one. Anyway. And here we are.
Yeah.
5 years later, still gone.
That is
and
incredible.
We've coached, my husband and I have coached more than 250 people now to do the same thing. It's been absolutely such a joy. We were talking we have like a community call on Saturday mornings. And I was chatting with a girlfriend from junior high whose thyroid went out at the same time she lost her husband to cancer.
Oh.
And so she turned, like a lot of us do, to food for comfort during a hard experience.
Yeah.
And, she's down 50 pounds. Wow. And she's still got a ways to go, but she's like, I feel so amazing. And she sent me some new pictures of herself. And there's something so deeply rewarding about not only doing it, but reaching back and pulling others up and having them do the same. It's been absolutely life-changing.
Yeah. Yeah. That is incredible.
Isn't that cool?
And so inspiring. I mean, I come from a family that has like genetic chronic obesity and diabetes. And it's something I've watched.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah.
News to me.
Yeah. My grandpa's sister, Phil, my great aunt passed away from obesity related complications.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, didn't know that.
Like recently. Yeah. And the only reason you can't tell in my grandpa is because he takes such good care of himself. He was a doctor and he makes it his top priority to take care of himself. You can't even tell. Looking at him, like you'd never know that it's a family that struggles with it. But I've watched my mom struggle with her weight her whole life and the fluctuations, and I'm so proud of her and all of the work that she's put in and the effort and all of that. But it's so hard, and we live in like a society that is very unhealthy. and
Yes.
that doesn't promote healthy habits. And
Because you didn't have to go forage for that food. It literally got delivered to your door.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
didn't even have to walk to your car, get in the car, and go to the grocery store anymore.
Yeah.
The grocery store can be delivered to your home.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's really, really difficult. And today, and I heard somebody say, I don't know if you heard it this morning, Matt. One of our founders spoke to coaches today, and he said it doesn't take willpower. It literally just takes willingness.
Yeah.
But if somebody is willing, then as a coach, I can come alongside and partner with them. And just, what are your goals? How do you want to do it? There's no manipulation. There's no guilt. I'm not going to follow you around and smack things out of your hand. Although I've had.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah, that might be nice.
I have had people ask, but that willingness, like if you'll go on the journey with me and tell me, why do you want this? When the why is big enough, the how is easy. That's the easy part. And then the transformation really starts happening once you realize, hey, I don't want this for just a short term. This is not a diet. This is something I want to be invested in the rest of my life to stay healthy.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to look like?
Yeah.
How does that look? Well, once you learn to balance fats, to balance like what proteins, what vegetables, what are the triggers as we reintroduced food to our lives, I figured out that peanut butter is a trigger for me, and I love it so much. I want to lick all the peanut butter all the time, and I can't have just like a little spoonful like some people can.
Yeah.
I still don't have a good off switch for myself. So I am at 5 years. If I'm vulnerable with you, it's a constant contending. I'm constantly contending for my health. But the willingness is always there, and I will forever have my health coaches.
Yeah.
So when I'm having a particularly bad week, month, season, COVID reasons, we've got all the people calling because I've gained my COVID-19, and they're jumping back on our program or calling me for first time and like, what do I need to do? And I do the same with my own coaches. I don't walk away from them when have I fallen? Have I done things? Absolutely. But I know what to do now.
Yeah.
And that's where the transformation is so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a mental thing. And the shift is thinking about it as a crash diet as opposed to thinking about it as kind of, just
what can I do in 10
thinking.
years? What is this going to look like? I'm 50.
Exactly.
What will it look like at 60? What will it look like at 70?
You're 50?
I am. Did you not see all my live countdown to 50?
It's just, as I remember when you turned 40.
Oh, that's right.
I think part of it is I don't want to admit the fact that you're 50.
It's probably true.
Because it means I'm 10 years older as well.
That is true. That is true. Wow, trip out.
Well, let's jump into signature question número dos.
Okay.
Número dos.
Okay.
¿En español or en inglés?
In English.
That was fake. I faked all of that.
All right. So signature question number 2. I was typing and talking at the same time.
I thought you were going to start talking in Spanish all of a sudden.
I was pretty in. Yeah, go, girl, go.
Yeah, that would just pretend like it was almost Spanish and I wasn't saying what I was typing. So signature question number 2 is a little bit more difficult. So if you need to take a second, that's okay. If you had a life quote, what would it be?
Well, I have a life verse. Does that count?
That's perfect.
It's Isaiah 58, 9, 10, and 11. And it says, if you extend your soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul, your light will shine in the darkness, and your darkness will be as the noonday. He will make you like a well-watered garden whose waters never fail. And the Lord gave me that verse when I've been walking with him about 6 months. And that was 29 years ago. Older than you, baby.
Not by much.
Just by a smidge. And I was, background story, I was a Grateful Dead deadhead. And I got saved at a rainbow gathering up in Squaw Valley. It took me a few months of going to church, random churches, to try and find where I belonged. And I stumbled back into the Calvary La Habra now, which was in Santa Fe Springs at the time, committed. And Lance was teaching on the book of John chapter 3, and the story of Nicodemus. And am I supposed to crawl back into my mother's womb? Like, what does that even look like? Right. And I love that practical sense, like, oh, yeah, duh, that would be weird if somebody talked about that, but it's such a Christian easy term, that we use. But anyway, that was a very long time ago. And there was a guy who went to our church, Garrett Burroughs, who talked me into going to a Jerry Garcia band to pass out tracts at Irvine Meadows. Come on, Faith, it'll be so cool. And we're going to go. And I had only been separated from that group, and he didn't realize how really closely connected I was with the Deadheads and with the family of people that toured all around together. So we show up there and they're like, oh my gosh, where have you been? And I'm just all, I don't belong here. This is not my people anymore. I had a complete meltdown, crawled back into his Chevelle back seat, is a big bench seat, and laid there crying. And I opened my Bible, and he told me that would be my job. I would, extend your soul to the hungry, satisfy the afflicted soul. Your light will shine in the darkness. Your darkness is the noonday. So how's that?
Perfect.
Did that answer the question?
Beautiful.
Yay. It's beautiful.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
So let's talk relationships.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because you and your husband have been married for a very long time.
Yeah.
I'm
happily married.
Happily married.
We like each other and we love each other.
See, that's rare.
I know.
See, there are a lot of people I love, but I don't like them.
Like you.
Easy.
I'm so mean to you today. I'm sorry.
You've been very mean. Earlier, she called me untalented.
Yeah, I did not.
She said I was not talented. I have the recording.
He was talking about how he wasn't creative, and he was like, I can't sing, I can't write songs,
and
I can't dance. I was like, you're not creative, you're just not talented.
Thanks for repeating it.
It was funny.
So,
I see a shot, I gotta take it.
It's true.
You did kind of leave yourself open there.
I tend to do that.
Yes, you do.
And you know that firsthand.
Very well.
We can talk about. We'll talk about that in overtime.
Okay.
Because I do want to dive a little bit more into our past. But yours and Matt's relationship is one of my favorites because I can actually see that you guys still genuinely love each other. And actually, it feels like the older you guys get and the longer this relationship goes, the more and more you guys tend to fall in love. Like there's one point where I'm watching seeing some of the stuff that you guys are posting on Facebook, and I'm like, I feel like they're going out more now than they did when I first met them.
Because both of our kids are adults now. Don't forget, Logan's in his second year of college.
Oh
I know he'll be 19, and
So he was literally 4 when I met him.
Yeah,
jeez,
little,
crazy.
Little.
But yeah, I guess the question. And by the way, this is good for her to pay attention to as well, because she's getting ready to get married in a couple of months.
Yeah, congratulations
to a wonderful guy.
Well, that's
and I'm
good
very upset.
Compliment.
I'm very upset that she's taking him.
He's mine.
Ruben.
We'll talk. He's a really good guy. But what's the secret?
Really? What is happening right now?
Make a grown man cry.
But I guess the question is what's the secret for you guys? Because I really love there are very few couples that I see at church in particular where I'm like, I can actually see why it works out, and you guys are one of them. But I want to know what your secret is.
I love that question. We've answered this question a few times. I'll tell you, it's going to sound a little cliche, but we keep Jesus in the center. We personally, in our personal lives, we keep Jesus first and each other second. That has gotten challenged throughout the years where we start to put our eyes on each other. And guess what happens when we look at each other? We fail each other. And then humility has to step in and we have to take ownership for, oh, it was me this time. I was looking at you, or I was, looking at this other thing or thinking about this or that. And, we come to each other with humility. And again, when you have Christ in your life, there is a sense of humility, and it's okay to be imperfect. But I definitely married my best friend, and I trust him. He's a man of integrity. He's a man of fun. I don't know. Those are the. I don't know that they're secret. I think people know those things, but they just don't know how to apply them.
Yeah.
And so what's hard is you need to marry someone who's authentic. That what you see is what you get. They're not one thing in front of one person and one thing in front of somebody else, because that should make you go, oh, wait a second, what's going on? And when they are authentic, autonomous, they're not needing everybody to always have their eyes on them. And, we did get married when we were older. We were not young, and we know lots of couples who've done incredible jobs, got married right out of high school and have done, and I mean, the Smiths, we talked about Aaron Smith, they're getting ready to celebrate their 30th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, she just turned 50 a couple weeks ago, and he'll turn 50 next month. So they literally right out of high school, and they were high school sweethearts, and they've done a tremendous job, but they'll tell you the exact same thing. They didn't have Jesus when they did, sort of, but they really committed their lives to the Lord upon getting married, and that made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we haven't had rough seasons. We've had rough seasons. We just keep that to ourselves. But our version of rough is not, it's nothing compared. It's like the difference between two different, levels of silk. They're both still very silky. So, we're not comparing it to burlap or some other material altogether.
Nobody wants a burlap marriage.
No, but there's a lot of people who live in burlap marriages because they're not willing to go and do the heart work that it takes to, and then some people are just actual jerks and maybe shouldn't have gotten married to begin with.
Yeah.
Until they dealt with themselves for a season. So I think we worked a lot of our own personal issues out before we ever decided to get married.
How old were you guys when you guys got married?
I was 27. I was 27 and got married. He was 30, 29.
So I still have a year.
You got time. You still got time.
But that's one of the things, we worked a lot of those things out actually with each other by accident because we were just friends. You guys weren't, you don't know, but I definitely told oh no, I would never marry Matt Seymour. I just was never going to marry that guy. Ruby and I were talking about it earlier. It's always a story. He knows exactly what I'm going to say right now. We were at a beach baptism, and I was eating the very best mango in the world, which everybody knows about mangoes now. But back then, mangoes were not easy to get. Like, you couldn't get them at just the everyday grocery store. You had to go to specialty stores and maybe you could get a mango or two, but now they're everywhere.
Northgate?
So, yeah. Yeah, but Northgate didn't exist. So you couldn't and there wasn't one, what's the other one? It starts with a P, the other Spanish one, or the Vallarta or whatever. Anyway, you didn't have Hispanic grocery stores around every corner. So every once in a while, and I loved him. I grew up in Norwalk. We had him at the grocery store all the time. And my sweet husband now, but then just friend, would not try this mango. He refused. And I'm like, what a stubborn jerk. And as it turns out, I have been corrected on this story because he had just finished eating a giant hot off the grill double burger, homemade cheese and ketchup and it was still basically dripping off his face.
Matt, was it a good burger at least?
Oh, it was really
It was an amazing burger.
Any other flavor ruining it.
And so he's gone on to not only taste but enjoy mango on multiple occasions. But that day, that was my very immature 26-year-old self. I would never marry that guy. And I was so wrong.
Look at you now.
Look at me now.
Let's do
Happy as pie.
let's do signature question number 3.
All right.
Oh,
Número
Lord.
3.
Numero tres.
Numero 3.
Trace.
Oh my gosh.
Trace jalapenos. Oh, that was actually pretty good. I love it.
Can you have more than one best friend?
Outside
Oh.
of your significant other and family.
Oh, I mean, I do, but
Do you though?
I do.
Who else?
Well, I
Because
mean,
I know Richmond.
yeah, Jennifer and I have been friends for many, many, many years and went through some. I think when you go through the trenches with people, your hearts get deeply connected. And once, a lot of that got healed in her life and in my life, we just haven't had the deep need for each other the way we had that in the beginning. So, friendships evolve and change, and we're all kind of moving parts in this world, right? And so, your friendship is the way it is right now. And the hope is that you'll keep it, and you're getting ready to be married. But you'll have to have a season where you are pouring into your marriage. And my husband and I love to retell. I have absolutely no idea where we heard it first. He could probably tell you because he remembers details that I don't. But we learned that marriage is an empty box, and it takes people. You have to fill it. Like what you put in it is what you're going to get out of it. And it's not 50-50, it's 100-100. And maybe you've heard that before, Moxy, but that would be our good marital advice. But as far as me personally, I mean, I've had lots of best friends throughout the years. I've been extremely heartbroken by friends, and I've also probably done some heartbreaking, and I think even the heartbreak that's been done to me, I'm sure was unintentional. I don't fault anybody, but it's hard to have multiple best friends. It's hard to steward that many friendships. Shannon Schulman taught me that. She said, Faith, you've met her, but it's
Have I?
okay. Yeah. She's my blonde. She's my coach.
Oh, yeah.
I love her dearly. But anyway, she said, so big shout out to my Shannon. She said, Faith, you have so many friendships and you can only steward well a handful of really deep friendships. But she's like, you're the type of person that wants to go super deep with everyone. And I'm like, well, yeah, because that's where value is found. That's where you dig out the gold in people and in yourself, truly. And she's like, yeah, but you can't do that with that many people. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, let me think about that. So in answer to your question, I think a lot of people would say they have multiple, and I could say that I've had multiple best friends, but he's the one that I would give up everyone else for. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to argue with her because
that won't end
So
well.
what's your answer?
Oh,
Is your answer to that no way, Jose?
no way, Jose. I think you can only have one best friend, but you can have plenty of good friends. But I think at the end of the day,
Well, what's the criteria for best friend?
see that's really what's up for debate with a lot of people, because my criteria is what's the definition of the word best? Is there really multiple things that can be
No, because
the
it's
best?
good, better, best, right? So that's the superlative.
Yeah.
That is his argument, but I don't think that you
It's a grammatical argument too. So
Yeah,
that's a good
that
grammatical
is true.
Yeah, for a guy who
you
says
should be proud.
Yeah, he should be very proud. Did Grammarly teach you that?
No, I think Richmond did.
Good, better, best.
Yeah. So that's really where I come from, is like, I look at the rough times in my life, and there's been one person consistently that gets the phone call, whether it's bad or, whether it's my mom dying or getting the dream job or losing the dream job 6 months later. Like there's consistently one person that gets that phone call. And Moxy ends up being number 2, Does
that make her poop? Sorry. I'm a 50-year-old, 8-year-old boy.
She did earlier. So that's where I come from. And I also apply that to, every year there's the best movie of the year, so it can change, but, there's only one
At
best.
a time.
Yeah. You know, and so I
Mm.
agree. Like, and if you ask me in kindergarten who my best friend was, it was a guy named Michael, who he and I became best friends just because no one else wanted to hang out with us, and we were both we both happened to be in the sandbox at the same time.
Perfect.
You know, and that friendship lasted.
A match made in heaven.
Exactly. That friendship lasted until second grade.
Oh,
You know, so it was a long friendship.
impressive.
Yeah. You
For
know,
little guys.
yeah,
half
exactly.
your life at that point.
At that probably, I think it's like all of our life at that point, really. You know, and then if you ask me who my best friend through middle school, like through late elementary, middle school was, it was a guy named Cody, and that lasted until from second grade to seventh grade. You know, and if you ask who my best friend is now, I'll say there's an application now, people can apply.
It's me.
Actually, I think Brad. I think I like Brad more.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah. So I mean, I am his best man.
You are not.
You're not?
No, but I've been like the whole Dwight and Michael thing.
He's a close second.
Okay.
He's a very close second, but he is
Got it,
self-proclaimed best man.
He did ask me first, though. He asked me like a week before he asked Chase. So
Did he?
Yeah.
You know, just let him pay for all the best man things.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No, actually, no, but this is why I love the arrangement, because I can claim to be best man, but I don't have to actually do any of the work.
Pay and do the
Yeah,
work. Okay,
exactly,
I understand,
exactly.
I
So,
understand. Do you need charcuterie boards for it?
I do.
Just kidding.
We do need Shakira boards. Let us get some Shakira boards.
I want you to say it correctly. It's so bad.
I can't. Even if I
Charcuterie.
let's not go. Maybe in overtime we'll talk about
Charcuterie.
that.
Charcuterie.
Some cougar boards. That's a whole different board. Tell everybody where they can find. You know, if you are listening to this right now and you want to lose some weight, you want to get your life on track, hit up Faith Seymour but tell people where they can find you.
Instagram and Facebook, Faith Seymour. I think on Instagram I'm Faith Bearing Seymour. Faith.Seymour. Are you sure? Can you double check? So anyway, I don't know all of the words as well as I probably should. But I'm, just DM. Both are public. Yeah. My daughter is right. I should not have questioned her. Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
Faith, Faith, last name Seymour, Seymour, on either Facebook or Instagram.
Awesome.
You will see cute puppies. There are 9 birthed
9 puppies
today.
Jeez.
9 puppies birthed today.
A lot of puppies.
Golden doodles for everyone. You get a golden doodle and you get a golden doodle.
I don't need a puppy right now. Let's not go there. Well, we're going to jump into overtime here. If you are not a subscriber over at dollarinthejar.com, head over there right now and subscribe. It's only a couple bucks a month, and you get some extra bonus content where maybe Moxy will ask the right questions and get some embarrassing stories out of Faith. So we'll see. Maybe not.
Maybe.
All right, cool.
And we're back. Welcome back to You're My Best Friend. We really, really hope you enjoyed that interview with Miss Faith Seymour. Ruben, anytime we have one of your personal friends on the show, I am just so entertained, and I always learn something new about you.
Why are you? Well, first of all, why are you entertained? Because none of that seemed really entertaining to me.
Because, well, it's entertaining not in a like, haha, that was funny way, but like a that was really deep and I couldn't stop listening intently kind of way. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay. I also really enjoyed hearing the stories. Those were entertaining, actually. The stories that go into our overtime segments, especially that one about your 21st birthday. Oh, man. Yeah. How about you? What did you think of that interview?
You know, it was not. I hadn't seen Faith in a couple of months because of COVID and stuff. So it was nice to be reunited with old friends and people I care about, and obviously people who care about me. And it was interesting because I felt like they. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I feel like they made me get much more vulnerable than I actually like doing. So it was definitely interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, it was really great. I enjoyed seeing that side of you.
I hated it. I hated every second of having to be vulnerable for.
Yeah, I know.
However long that was, but hopefully the people who subscribed over at dollarinthejar.com enjoy it. and I think it's I think if people like that side of me and that side of us in general, I think what we have planned for the rest of this season and stuff that we have planned once you're no longer a single lady, I think the new content.
I don't know what that was. I was trying to be Beyonce.
That was nowhere near a Beyonce dance.
What is it? Is it like this?
I think so.
I don't know.
I'm not even going to try to do it because I know I'm going to get it wrong.
All the single ladies, all the single ladies. Well, you are really the only single lady here, Ruben.
It's true. It's true. I've also integrated myself into the girls portion of the group that we hang out with.
Yeah, it's a little scary. I don't like it. If you're going to do this, you need to bring face masks for all of us, man.
Y'all are the ones who know where the face masks are.
You literally just go to the cosmetics section. That's all you do.
Listen, y'all know where the good face masks are.
They're all good.
It's not true.
You do more face masks than I do. Do you know that?
Shut up.
You do. That black stuff that you put on your face, I haven't done a face mask since like senior year.
High school or college?
College.
Oh man, it's funny because we went to dinner a couple of weeks ago with this group of people, and I ended up sitting with Brad and Chase, but halfway
that
through,
was a surprise to me. Yes,
that I sat with the boys.
Yeah.
Why was it a surprise?
I figured you would just immediately go to the girls.
Why?
Because you're a single lady.
Yeah, but I don't think any of those ladies there were single. Actually,
Deanna?
Is she?
Yeah.
No. Well, that I did not know up until now. But still, even then, But I realized quickly that I made a very bad choice. Because
what was the bad choice? Not ordering alcohol?
No, the bad choice was sitting with the boys because the boys we were just ordering appetizers. The girls ordered like full entrees, like hamburgers and grilled cheese, and like I think one of y'all ordered steak.
It was good.
And I looked over at Brad and Chase. I'm like, y'all want to get a dessert? And they're like, oh no, we're good. We're watching our girlish figures. And I see them bring over this monstrosity with like it was like there was whipped cream and ice cream and chocolate and like bread on it. Didn't taste good to me. I didn't like it. But the girls,
are you serious?
The girls threw down on the butter cake.
The butter cake at Lazy Dog is the best butter cake you've ever had.
No, it's not. I've had better.
Where else? Because let's go there.
I got to figure out what the brand is because my friend Nancy represents a brand of butter cake that's better than what's at Lazy Dog, and it's found at 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven? No, that's not possible.
It is possible. It's very possible. But then I found myself this last weekend being the last man standing with two of the girls, and we went out and we had a girls' night, and it was a great time, Moxy. Let me tell you that. It was a great time.
Oh my gosh, you guys were out until like 5 a.m., right?
Yeah, it was a brutal night. I haven't done that since my college days.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't go to college.
I don't even think I did that in college at all.
No, you did. You did Denny's, remember, with Carly?
Yeah, we were writing a paper, though. We weren't out partying.
I wouldn't call what we did partying either.
What would you call what you did?
Gossip.
You still have to tell me about all the tea.
I can't. I'm not allowed to.
Well, why would you tell me if you can't tell me?
Because I needed to tell people that I was out until 5 in the morning.
Just tell me right now. No one will know. No one will ever hear this.
I don't know. I don't. No, I can't. I can't break the girl pack. I can't do it.
I'm a girl.
You weren't there.
We were on a break.
I'm in a
Seriously,
hotel
need to
again,
stop
Moxy.
watching Friends.
No, keep watching Friends. It's incredible. It's the best show on television. It's no
It
longer on
really
television.
is.
So much better than The Office.
Yeah, I kind of gotta agree with you on that.
Thank you. Well, this is where the podcast can end forever. Lauren, I'm sorry, your episode's not going to air because I am canceling the podcast now that Moxy has agreed with me that
What?
Friends is better than The Office.
That is not what this podcast is about.
It was my personal mission. And now that you've agreed with me, our friendship is over. Hence
What?
the podcast. I'm breaking up with you, Moxy.
What? No. That's my only defense.
What? What? No? All right. I think we're good here.
Is that you breaking up with me still?
Yeah, no, we're done. We're good. We're good.
Well, I think I have one last thought.
It's not me. It's you.
What?
What?
Oh man. All right. So for our one last thought this week, I wanted to bring in a quote from the infamous and racist Dr. Seuss.
Oh no! No!
But I really felt like it fit with this week's episode. So not only with what Faith Seymour talked about this week, but with everything that's been going on in the last year. This quote says, "Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened." And I love that quote so much from Dr. Seuss. I identify with it on a personal level. I have always tried to live life without any regrets whatsoever. And I just love this quote, you know?
What was the quote again?
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. And it's really like good things, bad things, anything that happens in your life. Don't cry when something ends. Don't cry when you miss something. Just smile in memory.
You know, that's the same thing I told my mom. The end of her life.
Oh my gosh.
And with that, head over to dollarinthejar.com right now. Subscribe to one of our top tier memberships and get even more conversation with Faith Seymour where we get even deeper and more personal. I'm a little afraid, so maybe you shouldn't go and subscribe.
You should. You definitely should.
I really don't think you should. But I'm not going to stop you from doing so. I'm not going to stop you from giving us money. Also know that we are in the process of changing over the dollarinthejar.com interface over to Patreon. So if you do subscribe now, know that we will be switching over to Patreon in the very near future.
Sure.
Got anything else to say, Mox?
I'm going to go find that cat.
You leave the cat alone.
Aria! I don't know where she is.
Try using bacon.
I don't have any bacon.
Well, why would you go to someone's house without bringing your own bacon?
Ruben, I never thought of that question before.
I always have bacon.
Always?
Always.
Do you have bacon right now?
I do.
Can you show it to me?
It's on the other side of the room.
Can you go get it?
We're in the middle of a podcast. I can't do that right now.
It doesn't matter. The viewers want to know.
They don't want to know. They believe me. They don't question the
How do
words
you
that
know? Did
come
you
out.
ask them?
I did ask them, and they said they believe me more than they believe you.
This episode hasn't aired yet. How would you have asked them?
I asked them last week
Why?
because I need to know this information.
You just confound me sometimes.
Confound?
Yes. Shock and awe. Mostly
that mean?
shock.
What does that mean?
Partially horror.
What does that mean?
That's for me to know and you to ask me next week. Tune in next week for another episode of You're My Best Friend. I think we're just about out of time. Ruben, you have any last thoughts?
Hey, how do you like my hair?
It's hair.
My name is Ruben Jay,
And I'm Moxy Ann.
and we are out of time. Adios!
Bye!